Alright, so this is Stratus, and I'm sick, and this is a Masterscoot tutorial. So I'm going to break this up into 2 parts, 3 parts, maybe 4. Yeah, let's go with 4. The first one's going to be the legs, second one is going to be the arms, third one is going to be how to combine the legs and the arms, and then the fourth one will be setups. So I will categorize them like some kind of crazy annotations. Anyway, let's get started. So the leg is the first fundamental component of this move that people will not understand. And the reason behind that is partially because when you usually talk about master scoots, you have prerequisites. And people say a scoot and a master swipe are prerequisites. And I don't think either are. A master scoot would actually help, or a master swipe would actually help you more than a scoot. And I'll show you why. Because a scoot looks like this, and a master scoot looks like this. Now, while they both somewhat stay low and both swing through in the same direction, the motion is completely different. And I'm pretty sure you can tell between the 2 ways that I did it. I've never seen anybody do a crazy over-the-top scoot. Actually, I've seen it once, but it's not very common. So I'm going to separate these 2 moves and say that master scoot is independent of that. Now, a master swipe, a tricker master swipe, is this weird thing where you swing this way and then go into cartwheel that way. That's kind of the same motion as a master scoot, actually. But I'm not going to teach it to you because I don't know how to do it, and since I haven't learned how to do it and I can master scoot, I'm going to say it's not a necessary prerequisite. If you want to learn it, go ahead. There are tutorials out there, I'm sure. This is how you do a master scoot. So the legs. This leg, your hook leg, or if you're a b-boy, whichever the hell leg you want, is going to come out and around and then face that way. So from the direction that you start, it's going to be facing to your right, or if you're using your right leg, to your left. But I'm going to talk about everything from my left leg being the one that's swinging up. If you have any problems with that, just reverse swing your head and figure it out. It's really not that difficult. So you're going to want your body to end up facing to the right. That does not mean going like this. That's the wrong direction. It wants to go around like this in a beautiful arch. You should sweep around like that and face that way. So if you know how to do a J-step, it's kind of the same motion as the last step in a J-step. So you know how you go, duh, duh, and then it comes around like that, and it's this huge sweepy motion. It's the same as that, except a little bit more exaggerated even. So you want to keep this leg off the ground. Whenever you're learning a master scoot, don't let this leg touch the ground, your left leg. Don't let it touch the ground, because it's going to screw you over later. If you learn how to do a master scoot like this, and then you swing it, you might be able to get it, but it's going to be awkward transitioning, and then you'll always want to put this leg down, so just don't do it. So this leg goes around, arch, and then faces that way. So it goes like this, like that. So as you can see, my leg started out, swung forward, and as it swung, I hopped off my right leg. I didn't like jump off, I just hopped off. And then this went around and set for the swing through. You can already see how this trick works. It's pretty easy. So it goes around like this, and you swing through. Now, that's pretty much all your leg is ever going to be doing. You want to get really comfortable with that though. The idea of just swinging that leg out and then getting into the swing through position. Like you should be able to, I don't know, do it with your eyes closed. Don't actually try that. Anyway, the part that's a little more awkward usually is your arm motion. Because as opposed to scoot, where you can just throw your arm in front of you, this has to go over, and this goes across. It's kind of like a round-off more than a gumby, because a gumby you reach like over you like that. A round-off you go forward and then you turn over. It's kind of like that, except you go like this. So it's, if you practice this retarded motion, it's pretty close to master scoot. But yeah, you're going to be throwing your arms over you, and you want this arm to be fairly in line with the direction you're going, and this should be on the opposite side. So I'll show you once. I can't really demonstrate it without actually doing a Masterscoot, so you see how that works? So your body is going to want to come down, your upper body is going to want to come down as your leg is getting ready to swing out. And then it comes up and over and across as this comes up. So your upper body is actually going to lead a little bit over your lower body. Just by a little bit. You don't want to like throw your arms and then like 2 minutes later you're like, ugh. You know, it's just not going to work. But your upper body has to be thrown first. Otherwise your leg is going to hit the ground really hard and you're not going to be able to transition into a swing through because all your force is going to go straight down. Now, idealistically, you want to reach over yourself as much as possible, and it's the same with all setups, really. But this specifically, think about a touchdown rise. Like, your power doesn't mostly come from blocking, it comes from your body following this circular arch. So, I'll show you. I'll go one kind of downish, and then the other one is going to be across. So, down would be like this, and you don't get any power at all. So, we want to go up and across, over. Over your body. So, the way that you really combine those is very, very specific timing. And as I said, your body's going to want to come down together and then come up, and your upper body's going to lead a little bit. So you're going to reach for the floor and then reach across with your right hand. And then as you do this, your leg's going to do that circular motion that I showed you. So when you combine the two. Okay, so there was a guy who came in while I was recording this and started punching the punching bags. Anyway, back to the tutorial. The most important part of this move is probably the timing. Timing and coordination. Well, obviously, it's like, well, no shit, that's the fundamental part of any move. But for this specifically, the timing of when your leg goes up and when your arms reach over is really important. You want them to come together, but again, you want your arms to lead a little bit. And that's, as I showed you earlier, because if your leg leads, it's going to go straight into the ground. You want your arms to go over, kind of like a back handspring, I guess, almost. And then your leg is going to follow after. This is going to come across in an arch. It's going to barely hit the ground, and then all of your momentum is going to go with your swing. So here's another demonstration. So watch. I'm going to slow this down, but pay close attention to my leg and arm timing and how they go across, when they go across. Just watch the move. Alright, now that you have a Masterscoot, hopefully, or at least you know how to practice a Masterscoot and what it actually is, the mechanics of it, the next most important thing is the setups. Because setups is what I actually struggle the most with Masterscoots. Because I learned this randomly. I don't know, I just got bored one day because my scoots sucked. And I couldn't get any power out of them, so I learned Masterscoots. But I couldn't get the setups right. And the most common setup that you see for Masterscoot is a hook. And you have to be very careful with this. Well, the way that I'm teaching you have to be kind of careful. Because a lot of people, what they do is, they throw their hook kick, and then they let their leg come like all the way around. Like, seriously, all the way over to here before they do a Masterscoot. And the problem with that is, because your entire body turns over at this point, when you do your Masterscoot, you're pretty much going sideways to forward into it. And like I said earlier, you have to go across and then over. And that's just not going to happen. So what ends up happening when your leg's out here and your body's facing this way is when you try to Masterscoot, your leg's going to have to come backwards a little bit, but your body's kind of already over. So when you throw it, it looks like this. I'll do it from an actual hook, and I'll show you what most people's Masterscoots. Not most people, but this is what it sometimes turns into. This is what mine looked like when I was trying to do it. And that's a problem. Because all of the power that I get from my Masterscoot comes from going over, and that doesn't go over at all. In fact, it goes straight forward and then goes into the ground immediately. So the way that I do it is, you have to kind of cancel your hook. And I'll show you what I mean. So when you throw your hook right around here, like you actually want to chamber your hook. And then from here, it's almost like a swing through into the Masterscoot. I forgot what the trick is called. But yeah, you want to actually chamber it and then pull it around like that. So this goes across and then over. And this ends up driving a lot more power into your Masterscoot, instead of just giving you momentum and then having you throw it forward blindly. So when you get it right, the timing should be hook, chamber, throw. And this is what it looks like. Hook, Masterscoot. As you can see, at least for me, that gets me a lot more power. But again, it's all about timing. It's about timing your upper body and lower body, getting them to work together and get your body over and have that swing come down nicely. Archy. It's supposed to make a nice circle. Other setups, a lot of people do this. I think Nate called it a compossimo. It's like this. But I don't like doing it from there. I can try for you. It just looks like this. Which I guess is alright. But as you can see, I'm definitely not used to it. Other setups, basically anywhere where this leg isn't touching the ground. So you see a lot of people actually do 540s, and they land like this in the Masterscoot. This is a really powerful setup. It's really useful. It's pretty easy to learn. And when you get the timing right, it's really reliable. Let's see, what else? I'm going to show you a few examples of me using this Masterscoot, but unfortunately none of them are going to be from today, because if you look at my foot, my toe is purple. And that was from doing a loser flip and I landed like that. Anyway, good luck learning this move, and if you need any help, feel free to send a message or something. As a, I don't know if I'm going to call this a bonus, but like kind of added on, I'll show a few clips from what I was doing earlier while the guy was punching his bags. I was actually doing a touchdown rise, and the way that I do it is actually an evolution of my Masterscoot, which is weird because most people learn it from a Gumby. I learned it differently, and somebody said it was Velu-ish. Velu-rise? I don't know. But apparently this is the way that he does it. It's not actually your Gumby motion where you go across like this and then over like that, like you're trying to kill yourself. It's actually just a cheat setup into a one-handed Masterscoot. And I'll show you the evolution of this. So your normal Masterscoot looks like this, right? It goes like that. But you can actually, once you get comfortable with it, you can do it straight behind you. So I'm going to go right over. It's going to look like, oh, that was terrible. It's going to go over like that. And that looks pretty bad by itself. But you take this arm away, and this is going to look really bad. But it looks something like that. And Again, I'm sick and I'm really tired. I'm significantly more tired now than I was earlier. But it's basically a cheat setup right into that thing.